The fire alarm was still screaming when I saw them. Not the flames. Them. Through the thin crack of the kitchen door, my wife pressed against the marble counter, her young colleague's hands where mine used to rest. His laugh was breathless. Hers was softer, intimate. The oven timer beeped in the background, and then smoke curled up toward the ceiling. She pushed him away first. Not because of guilt, because of the fire. I stepped back into the hallway before they saw me. My heart wasn't racing. It had slowed. Like my body had chosen calculation over chaos. Moments later, she burst into the corridor, coughing theatrically. "There's something wrong with your son." She snapped at me before I could speak. He left the stove on. "He's dangerous. Dangerous." My 10-year-old boy stood at the stairs, confused, holding a toy car. The accusation landed like a blade. Not at him. At me. Because I had just witnessed something far more dangerous than a forgotten flame, and she was already rewriting the narrative. She didn't deny the fire. She redirected it. "That boy has problems," she whispered later that night, sitting across from me at the dining table. Her hands trembled just enough to look sincere. "He zones out. He forgets things. What if next time it's worse?" I watched her. The same woman who once traced circles on my chest in the dark, now constructing a case against my son. Her colleague's cologne still lingered faintly on her blouse. I recognized it because it wasn't mine. I said nothing. Silence unsettles liars. 3 days later, she brought brochures home. Behavioral therapy, residential programs. Words like intervention and safety circled in pen. "Our family needs protection," she said. Our family. She meant herself. She meant the future she was planning, with someone younger, someone easier to control. The kitchen fire had not been an accident. It had been an opportunity, and she was using it to erase an obstacle, my son. But what she didn't know was that I had installed cameras in the kitchen months ago, not because I suspected her, because I value documentation. Truth doesn't argue. It records. I did not confront her. I kissed her forehead. I made dinner. I thanked her for handling the therapy research. Inside, I was dissecting every detail. I pulled the footage from the hidden camera. At 2:13 a.m., the house silent. My breath steady. There they were. Her colleague arriving early. Too early for a meeting. Too comfortable in my kitchen. She laughed when he grabbed her waist. She turned the stove on. Not to cook. To create ambiance. The flame burned steadily beneath an empty pan. They moved out of frame. Minutes later, smoke thickened. The oven timer beeped. They scrambled, and then she looked directly at the stove, saw the flame, and walked away. Deliberate, calculated. The fire alarm screamed. She waited 3 seconds before reacting. Enough time to let the scene escalate. Enough time to assign blame. My son never entered that kitchen. The footage was clear. Painfully clear, but I needed more. I accessed her phone records, late-night calls, a hotel reservation under her colleague's name. A message that read, "Once he puts the kid away, it'll be easier." Easier. To dismantle us, to inherit the assets. She underestimated 2 things. My patience and my foresight. The villa in Switzerland wasn't in her name. Neither were the investment accounts. I had learned long ago, love is fragile. Contracts are not. Then, as if the universe wanted to season the cruelty, my daughter-in-law called. "If you want to join Thanksgiving," she shouted over the phone. Irritation sharp in her voice. "Come wash the dishes!" I smiled into the receiver. "Enjoy," I replied. I hung up. 2 days later, I posted photographs. The Swiss villa, the mountains behind it, the infinity pool reflecting winter sunlight. I said nothing else. My phone rang 71 times. Greed has a distinctive ringtone. I invited my wife to the living room that evening. She looked nervous. She should have been. I connected the television to my laptop. No speech. No accusation. Just playback. The kitchen. The embrace. The flame. Her deliberate pause. Her face drained of color as the footage unfolded. "That's not what it looks like," she whispered. It was exactly what it looked like. "You tried to institutionalize our son," I said quietly. "To simplify your exit." Tears came on cue. I was scared. "Yes," I replied. "Of losing access." I handed her printed bank documents. Property deeds. Account ownership confirmations. Everything solely under my control. Her crying shifted into panic. You can't. I already have. The colleague? Terminated. I had sent the footage to his employer anonymously that morning. Actions have consequences, even carefully staged ones. The final move required no shouting. I filed for divorce the next day. Irreconcilable differences, adultery documented, attempted coercion regarding a minor. My lawyer handled the language. I handled the silence. When she realized she would leave with nothing beyond what she brought into the marriage, her composure fractured. You ruined my life, she said. No, I corrected calmly. You miscalculated. She had tried to paint my son as unstable. Instead, the court saw a mother willing to endanger her child to protect an affair. Custody was not a battle. It was a formality. As for my daughter-in-law, when she finally reached me after the 71st call, her tone was sweet. We should visit Switzerland, she suggested. I sent her a single message. The villa is not a community center. Blocked. Greed collapses when denied oxygen. The house feels different now. Quieter, cleaner. My son sleeps without accusation hovering over him. I watch him sometimes from the doorway, the steady rise and fall of his chest grounding me. Trust is not rebuilt. It is replaced with awareness. I walk through the kitchen occasionally, replaying the memory not with rage but with clarity. She thought the fire would consume evidence. Instead, it illuminated everything. Her affair, her manipulation, her hunger. I did not scream. I did not beg. I documented. I executed. And when the smoke cleared, the only thing left standing was truth. Some betrayals burn hot. Mine burned cold. And I walked away untouched.